perform.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Way to Know. So in this video we are going to cover the T20 international, the third T20 international between England and Australia. England have already won this T20 international series 2-0 and they are going to play the third match tomorrow. It is basically a dead rubber because they have already won the series, but there is a lot of exciting action to look forward to because if Australia from their end will want to win this match to avoid a clean sweep, and they will want to give their best in this match. So it's going to be a very exciting match. So we can look forward for some very good fireworks. So one important news about this match is that Josh Butler has been ruled out of the third T20. Please take a note of this. So, well, let's start with the analysis of both the teams. So currently England have been on a roll and they've won the first two T20 internationals. So in front of you is the leading scorers of this series. So if you look at this, Josh Butler has been brilliant for England in the last couple of T20s, along with David Malan. And then you have Johnny Bairstow and Moeen Ali, who have performed reasonably less compared to what they should be. But you can see that they've scored 15 and 17 runs. So basically, England will actually be missing one of their prime players, who is Josh Butler, and that will be a hard thing for them to fill. That spot will be a very hard thing to fill for them. So, well, so let's start with the analysis. So, from Australia side, they will want to win this, as mentioned earlier. So they'll want to give their best. So we'll move on to the next slide.
So, definitely, as you said, so if Josh Butler is not there, then Johnny Bairstow has to step into his shoes as an opener and give a killer blow to Australia. So expecting fireworks from Johnny Bairstow this time instead of Josh Butler. Okay, now this is about the leading scorers, and we will move to the leading wicket takers in the series. Yeah.
So if we have a look at the leading wicket takers in the series, Ashton Agar has been the absolute surprise pick from Australia's point of view, wherein the pitch and his bowling have been very brilliant and in favor of him. The pitch has been in favor of him. And the pitch actually is generally in favor of spinners a little bit here. And with Ashton Agar being a left-arm spinner and having a few right-handed batsmen in front of him, he's been able to pick up few wickets and has been pretty handy for Australia in this series. Though Australia have not managed to win a match, he's the highest wicket taker. And Adil Rashid and Jofra Archer also have been really very good for England. Adil Rashid, as usual, will be our pick even for today as well, because wrist spinners are always going to be very, very helpful. I'll tell you where you can probably go ahead with Adil Rashid and where you can probably go ahead with Jofra Archer. So what are the key things that we'll have to remember when we are picking them? So we also have seen that Glenn Maxwell has rolled his arm over and has got a couple of wickets in the first T20 international, though I don't think he was very instrumental in the second one. But the first T20 international was very good for him. And Mark Wood as well was very good in the last match. He bowled some deliveries with the ripping pace. So we can expect if he's picked up in the playing 11, then we can expect him to give a good show as well. Chris Jordan, as usual, well, he is a very good death bowler, as we all know. So I'll pick up each and every of these players to tell where to probably try them, so that you can probably get some very good points in your Dream 11 team. So we'll move forward to the next slide.
Yeah, just talking in this slide, one expectation is that Australians might play Mitchell Marsh, Matthew Wade, and Labsing. So it's like we just need to see how the team composition. It's very interesting to see how the Australians are going to come up. And as the total wickets indicate, the highest wicket takers and respective bowlers, definitely you can see the spinners are taking the lead here. And Ashton Auger looks like in Fantasy Premier League we call them differential pick. So he looks like a differential pick here with a price on the lower side, and then he's fielding around the boundary, takes a lot of catches, chances of run out. He's batting well, he's bowling well. So Ashton Auger definitely looks like a good pick considering these wickets, but we have to see how he's going to perform in the next match. So moving forward, so let us talk about key points here.
Yeah, so key points would be, as usual, like Australia have never been whitewashed. At least I believe they've not been whitewashed earlier,
They
and
have been whitewashed by India.
They don't want to be. No, I mean against England. So they don't want to be whitewashed anytime. So they should have probably won the first match, which they let go by having a mini collapse. The last match as well, I think while chasing, if they would have picked up a couple of more wickets, maybe they would have put pressure on England. So they wouldn't want to let go of this match by any cost. So they will try to give their best in this match. So England, on the other hand, have nothing to lose. They've already won the 2 matches and they are 2-0 up in the series. So they will want to give the bench a go. And they've got 3 bench players who are there in the squad who have yet to get a game. Like somebody like Joe Denley, who is very, very exciting because he is a premier T20 batsman when it comes to the England counties, where he plays a very, very good role as an all-rounder. He rolls his arm over and he can bat really well as well at the top of the order. So he can score some very, very good points. Australia, on the other hand, will want to get their combinations right. They would want to, make a couple of changes, maybe something even more than that. They've got a huge squad to tinker, so they can experiment as well and get in probably someone like Nathan Lyon, as the spinners, as mentioned, have had a very good role in the series. So maybe Nathan Lyon can be a very good option in the Australian squad. And you've got some other exciting players as well to come in, maybe someone like Mitchell Marsh, as earlier mentioned. So they might get an opportunity as well. So we have to look forward to the toss. The team that's winning the toss will again want to bat first, because considering that what we have seen earlier, the pitch is actually getting slower. This is the third T20 that's being played on the same pitch. So the pitch is going to get even more slower and better for bowlers. Let me tell you, batting will become difficult as it goes forward. The first innings will probably be good for batting, but later, as the lights come on, it's going to be a little bit difficult for the team batting. So any captain who wants to win the toss, or who is winning the toss, will want to bat first and try to put a good total on the board and try defending that. That will be the idea of the captains. So we'll move forward.
Okay, and then coming to the pitch conditions and some of the stats, if you see the Rose Bowl Southampton pitch, as seen in the last 2 T20 matches, definitely there will be pace initially. We have seen how Jeffrey Archer bowled that particular delivery to David Warner, where he was surprised. He might be expecting a slower pitch, but suddenly there was pace for the first 2 overs. So that same trend would might continue, and there could be spin at a later point of time. So as said in the last slide, it looks like the team who wins the toss would love to bat first and then use their slow bowlers, variations, spinners to contain the team batting second. So that looks like the strategy again here. First T20 worked that way. Second T20, Australian bowlers looked a little weak compared to England bowlers in this series. So even though they took wickets towards the end of the T20 match, but the Jos Buttler was the differentiation between the 2 teams, and he just took the match away from Australians. So just regarding this series, England haven't lost T20 series the last 5 to 6 series, and again they won this series. So after a series of wins, they now rise to the top of the T20 and they sit pretty there. And they don't want to slip and give a match to Australians, and they would definitely love to whitewash in whatever kind of series it is. And definitely England would fight here. They want to hold on to that T20 ranking. And considering the last three T20 matches, England looks to be having upper hand here. So the same trend might continue. Looking at the form and the kind of weakness Australians seem to be having in some of the areas, they are just playing the match into the hands of the Australians here. So the prediction could be again England winning here, but it's just T20 cricket. We don't know. One single ball can change the match. And then last time, if you see, when the England lost, it was way back in February 2018. So it's been a long time. So Australians would definitely want to end this T20 series on a high and move towards the ODIs with some confidence behind them. And England would want to give them a death blow. So looks like exciting match. It's a dead rubber, definitely, but there is everything in stake for both the teams. It's the ranking, it's the whitewash, and then definitely the competency between these two teams at the highest level would definitely lead to a match which definitely can't be called a dead rubber. Now, we'll just talk about the other things, the kind of players you need to pick.
Yeah. So coming to the Dream 11 picks based on the toss. So we've got scenarios here. So we've got England batting first and England chasing. So in the similar way, Australia batting first and Australia chasing. So England batting first will mean Australia are chasing, and Australia batting first will mean England are chasing. So let's consider each and every scenario here. So England is batting first. So England batting first or England bowling first, whatever it may be, Johnny Bairstow is going to be the one to look out for. He hasn't had enough amount of runs under his belt in this series, and he would want to fire. So, well, England batting first will give him a chance to go early on with the new ball attack, and the ball comes onto the bat really well in the early phase of the matches, and he can be tried as a captain, vice captain, and he might give England a very good start. So Johnny Bairstow is the one to look out for from our end as a Dream 11 team pick, a very good pick, Johnny Bairstow. I don't think there'll be a lot of people picking him because he hasn't performed in the last two matches. The percentage will go down, so he's the one to look out for. And then we have David Malan, who has been consistently doing really well for England, and he is the one to again look out for here. The reason being, as we have told earlier as well, the Australian bowling doesn't have a very good off spinner who can trouble David Malan. David Malan is basically a left-hand batsman, and Australians don't have a right-arm off-spin option apart from Glenn Maxwell, who which can trouble David Malan. So if Australians get in Nathan Lyon probably instead of Adam Zampa, who hasn't been at his best in the series and has probably been one of the architect in Australia losing both the games because he conceded huge amount of runs towards the end of the innings on both these occasions. So maybe Adam Zampa can be swapped for Nathan Lyon, and that is where I think David Malan might face trouble if Nathan Lyon is the one coming into the team. So apart from that, if Nathan Lyon is not there, then I think I don't see David Malan facing any kind of issues. So he can stitch some good partnerships along with Johnny Bairstow. So we can expect a very good score from England if England's batting first. In a similar way, if Australia is batting first, then we always have Aaron Finch, who loves to bat up. I mean, really well when the ball's coming on really well. And since batting first, the ball comes on really well. So Aaron Finch is the one to look out for from our end. And Warner and Steve Smith haven't been at their best in the last game. I mean, in one of the matches when Australia batted first, both of them failed. So maybe it can be the scenario again. And that's the reason Aaron Finch is probably the one to look out for. And a little bit of middle order as well, wherein Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis can be really important, as we saw in the last game. Marcus Stoinis played a very, very good innings. And Mitchell Marsh is a surprising pick. He can bowl and he can bat, uh, and the pitch might suit him really well because he has a very good action wherein the ball swings a little bit. So he can be the one to look out for if he's included in the squad, along with I doubt if Manas Labuschagne gets a game, but if he gets a game, then maybe he's also a very surprising pick where you can probably add him into one of your teams, not every team, but maybe one of your teams wherein he can bat at number 4 and score you some very good points. So considering the chasing scenarios of England and Australia, England chasing means England is going to bowl first. So if England's bowling first, then Chris Jordan is your absolute must pick because he is the one who's going to bowl death overs. And the Australians are always going to go after, I mean, any team is going to go after the bowling during the last few overs, and that's where the wickets can fall to the fast bowlers. So that's the reason I think Chris Jordan is your absolute must pick, along with somebody like Jofra Archer, who has been entrusted the ball for the final overs. So if England's bowling first, then Jofra Archer and Chris Jordan are a very, very good pick. You need to have them in your team. Whereas if England is bowling second, then that is where Adil Rashid will be the very important person. It's a blind thing that any team that is bowling second and it has a leg spinner in it, you need to have them because wrist spinners find lot of turn during the second innings. Whether it might be Adam Zampa as well, who hasn't performed in the last 2 games, but if Australia is batting second and Adam Zampa is there in the team, you can go for him. He can pick you wickets. Maybe 2 times he hasn't been lucky, but third time he can be lucky. So you can pick up Adam Zampa if Australia is batting second and Adam Zampa is included in the team. If he's swapped, then maybe Nathan Lyon is the one to pick. So wrist spinners are always going to be very important in the second innings. Whichever team is bowling second, wrist spinner of that team should be included in your Dream 11 team. And Australia batting second, we know that David Warner and Steve Smith have been brilliant when Australia are chasing because they know the score, what to be chased. And we have seen David Warner batting superbly when Australia chases. Not only here, but even during Sunrisers matches as well. When Sunrisers chase, David Warner does brilliantly well. That's the reason David Warner's your absolute must pick if Australia is chasing. And because Australia is chasing, so Australia will bowl first. So that is where I think Glenn Maxwell can probably be very handy if he's given the ball. And along with him, Marcus Stoinis as well, because he might actually be entrusted the ball for the end overs. It has happened before, so it can happen again, as I mentioned in my previous video as well. So Marcus Stoinis can bowl you the death overs for Australia. So that is where he is going to be very, very important. And so these are the options that we can probably look for.
Now the captain pick. So if you are looking for a captain pick and when England is batting first, I think David Malan could be a choice here. And some people might think of Bairstow as well. So these two looks to be the guys for the captain pick. And then when England are chasing, definitely Johnny Bairstow or Ian Morgan could be the guy. So again, for Australia, if Australians are chasing, how David Warner is critical for England while they are chasing. Ian Morgan plays the similar role for them, plays the anchor role, hits the ball whenever needed, and puts the bowlers under pressure. So he looks to be a suitable captain for when England are chasing. And then when coming to the Australia batting first, definitely Aaron Finch, he is the guy who looks to be in form. Everyone looks to be wavered except Aaron Finch. At the starting of the series, everyone predicted that Finch could be the bunny for the bowlers, but considering the way he molded his batting, he looks to be the guy who is leading from the front. Unfortunately, Australia haven't been winning, but Aaron Finch individually has done well. And definitely when Australia are chasing, David Warner does well. And he is the captaincy pick. So the captain pick could be based on the toss, and definitely it will revolve around the openers and two major batsmen, the first down batsman and the middle order batsman, Ian Morgan and David Mullen. So again, here also, if you see the captaincy pick choice goes 3-2, looks like how the matches have been heading in this particular series. Now, moving to the teams. Nandu?
So here are a couple of teams that we thought might be very interesting. So the first one will be Australia batting first, and the second one will be Australia bowling first or batting second. So if we consider Australia batting first, I think as we mentioned, Warner and Finch struggle during Australia batting first. So, but we have picked Warner because he is one of the key guys. Aaron Finch does well, so you can probably try him as a vice captain maybe, or probably even a captain as well in the first team that we are showing you here. And along with that, you can see that once the top order is, we are missing out on somebody like Steve Smith. So we are going into the middle order, wherein we can, the Glenn Maxwell's and the Marcus Stoinis are the ones who are going to give you the points, as we saw in the previous match as well. So I've taken Glenn Maxwell as my vice captain because he can bowl some pretty good handy overs, as we saw in the first T20 international. And again, if we come to the thing of Australia bowling first, I mean England bowling first in the first picture as well. So we can see that Tom Curran, who will be neglected by a lot of people because he has gone for runs in his previous game, but never underestimate him because he is the one who can bowl some very, very good back of hand slow balls. And since England is bowling first, he is the one who can probably bowl you the death overs. And Tom Curran can pick you some very good points. He is your differential pick, if you can ask. For a differential pick, he's the one, according to me, who can pick you some very good points, a couple of wickets, and it changes the scenario. So Tom Curran is the one to look out for if England's bowling first, along with Chris Jordan as usual. And then when England is batting, you always know that Johnny Bairstow is the one who is going to be really good. That's why we have picked him as a captain in our team. And along with him, Ian Morgan as usual. Tom Banton is the surprise pick because since Joss Butler is out of the series, Tom Banton is the one who is going to open the innings, and that is where I think he loves opening the innings. As we saw during the Ireland series, he scored a brilliant 70 odd in 40 balls, something like that. So he loves to open the innings. He would want to own that spot along with so we picked the top 4 of England, expecting them to win this game again. But surely Australia will want to fight it out and win the game by themselves. Aston Agar again will be the pick during the second innings, as there are plenty of right-handers and the ball spinner in the second innings is always good. So that's our Dream 11 team 1. And so when we come to team 2, Australia bowling first and England batting second. Australia bowling first and England batting first. So Australia bowling first. Okay, let's go with England batting first. So England batting first. Bairstow is a hit or miss kind of a player. He has struggled a little bit against Mitchell Starc, like we saw in the last game. But since there is no other better keeper option apart from Bairstow currently present, we have picked Bairstow up. You can probably go ahead with Alex Carey. But I think Bairstow can give you some reasonable points. So we have picked Bairstow, but do not miss Mitchell Starc. The reason being, Mitchell Starc is, that bowler who can pick you very, very good points by picking you very good wickets. He can pick even 2-3 wickets during the death overs. You know about his Yorkers during, the final stages of the game. So Mitchell Starc is, that a very good pick. So having Mitchell Stark is very important in your team when Australia is bowling first. And along with that, since England is batting first, I think we have gone with Tom Banton because Tom Banton loves batting first. So he's the one to look out for. So we have picked him as a vice captain. David Malan, as usual, can be really good. And then we've got Moeen Ali. The reason being, if England is batting first and we know that Bairstow has a chance of failing, then the middle order becomes very crucial. And that is where Moeen Ali can play a very good part. And he can hit the long ball out of the park. He can probably even promote it up the order. He has played some brilliant innings for England earlier, as well as RCB also. If you remember a couple of years back where he played some enthralling innings for RCB. So he'll be the one to look out for if England is batting first. And along with him, I think Patrick Cummins hasn't been up to his potential in this series, but he's a very, very good bowler. So you'll want to have Patrick Cummins, a bowler like Patrick Cummins in your team. He can put that heavy ball and pick up wickets. So he's the one to look out for. And Eoin Morgan has been Patrick Cummins' bunny. So Eoin Morgan has been picked up by Patrick Cummins a number of times. So Patrick Cummins is the one to look out for. That's the reason we have missed out Eoin Morgan here. And instead we have picked up Patrick Cummins in place of Eoin Morgan. So that's the key here. So there's one more thing that I want to mention about this team too, is that if you're picking Moeen Ali, and Moeen Ali hasn't bowled that very well in the series, he hasn't got a chance to bowl a lot of overs in the series. But if he is bowling and Eoin Morgan is using him early on in the innings, then he becomes a very, very good bowling option. Both Aaron Finch and David Warner have struggled against Moeen Ali in the early part. And I don't know why this has not been tried yet. But if Eoin Morgan tries Moeen Ali earlier on in this innings, then I think David Warner and Aaron Finch, both of them are going to be in trouble with Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali has dismissed them many times. So in the team too, if you want to give it a go, then I would probably suggest you to probably remove David Warner from this team as well. And in place of David Warner, you can probably have one of the middle order batsmen, and like Marcus Stoinis coming down the order. And you can probably try Moeen Ali as a captain, because he can pick you the couple of wickets, let us say, of Aaron Finch and David Warner, and he can score some handy runs with the bat. So Moeen Ali can be tried as a captain as well. So these are the thoughts behind the two teams being discussed.
Okay, thank you. So all the best for your Dream 11 team, and please watch our video and let us know your comments. Post your comments and like and subscribe our channel. Thank you. Thank you, Nandu.
Yeah, thanks and all the best.
Thank you. Have a good match all. Thank you.